boys, let's take the absence quickly. Good morning, Khaled. How are you doing? Oh, I believe he doesn't have a mic. Okay. Today we will continue about the reading comprehension that we have already started yet. We will speak today about the next one, and it's also relative to it. So today we'll speak about From Flowers for Algernon. We have already finished the reading comprehension Flowers for Algernon. Today we'll speak about an excerpt from that, about a conversation between Charlie and Dr. Strauss. So in this area, about the summary, this selection is an excerpt from a dramatic adaptation of the novel From for Algernon. The scene involves two characters, Dr. Strauss, that's number one, and also Bert. Bert, the one who worked in the lab, who was responsible for making the test regularly for Charlie and also for Algernon, the maze and all of kinds of tests. Discussing Charlie. So they are speaking about our protagonist and the previous reading comprehension, Charlie, who is off stage, meaning that he's under the weather or feeling blue or he's depressed. Another way, they discuss how strong graphers have been hired to transcribe Charlie's tape, record daily entries, and how more stenographers are needed. So we were speaking about how right now in this situation Charlie was still under the weather, feeling blue. His tape scripts were not so accurate. Consequently, they needed a lot of stenographers. Stenographers are the ones that take any record and start to correct it. Given the unexpected number of records, of course, the characters then express their beliefs over Charlie's incredible process and also their concerns for the future of the experiment and both Charlie. So, right now, Charlie is depressed. Charlie have written something that ordinary people are not capable of understanding. Consequently, they hire these stenographers, those who take the scripts and also the progress report and try to make them or make them course possible for reading. So please open your books, page 385. TB, can you start by the background, please?
Background? Okay, wait.
Yes.
Okay. The script is based on Daniel Kay's novel Flowers for Algernon, an expanded version of the short story you've just read. This particular scene is dramatic expression of the progress report dated May 31. The characters Dr. Strauss, Bert, and Charlie are at least his voice from the short story are present in this scene.
All right. So simply we now have both Dr. Strauss and also Bert. Okay. Those two characters right now will discuss the previous reports from May 31st and how Charlie is developing and adapting to the new circumstances right now. So let's hear them first and then come back.
From Flowers for Algernon by David Rogers. Script. Background. This script is based on Daniel Keyes' novel, Flowers for Algernon, an expanded version of the short story you've just read. This particular scene is a dramatic expansion of the progress report dated May 31st. The characters, Dr. Strauss, Bert, and Charlie, or at least his voice, from the short story, are present in this scene. About the playwright. David Rogers, born 1927, died 2013, was an author, playwright, and actor. He was born in New York City and fell in love with the theater at an early age. In time, he became an actor himself, appearing on Broadway in a production of William Shakespeare's As You Like It. During his remarkable career, Rogers was a writer for the Jackie Gleason Show and the Carol Burnett Show. He also wrote an award-winning opera for New York City's Lincoln Center and numerous adaptations of literary works for the stage. From Flowers for Algernon by David Rogers. Lights come up on Strauss in his office. Bert is just entering, carrying a huge pile of typed sheets, which he puts on Strauss's desk. Strauss. What's that? Bert. More of Charlie's notes. Strauss. How many days' work is that? Bert. 2. Strauss. Dear heaven. Bert. I've got 3 stenographers working. I had to call in extra help. Strauss. Don't tell me. I'm here every night till 1, listening to his tapes. He pushes the play button of his tape recorder, and they listen to Charlie's voice. July 18th. They all think I'm killing myself at this pace, but they don't understand I'm living at a peak of clarity and beauty I never knew existed. It's as if all the knowledge I've soaked in during the past months has lifted me to a peak of light and understanding. This is beauty, love, and truth all rolled into one. This is joy, and now that I've found it, how can I give it up? Strauss snaps off the machine and inserts new tape as he speaks. Strauss. It's incredible. I can't even believe any human being can work at this level, at this pace. Bert. Doctor, I've read some of this. Of course, I don't understand it, but is this work as brilliant as it seems? Strauss. What are you asking me for? It may take science 40 years to understand what Charlie's telling us this month. Bert. What have we unleashed, Doctor? What do we do? Strauss. We hire another stenographer and make sure she gets it all down correctly. Bert exits right. Strauss pushes the play button. Charlie's voice. July 25th. Algernon became lost in the maze today. He threw himself against the walls.
Alright, so speaking about that, guys, we need to understand right now, let's imagine we are in the lab room, along with both Dr. Strauss and also Bert from the lab. At this peak of Charlie's brilliance, after the operation, of course, and after he gained so much knowledge, right now Charlie is trying to just provide the science with the knowledge he acquires right now. Consequently, he started to just type and type and type and also to record. At this pace, both Strauss, Bert, and even Dr. Niemeyer, all of them are not capable of obtaining the whole knowledge that Charlie is trying to give them. In order to do so, they started to have some stenographers in order to just try to understand what Charlie is writing. Okay? And at this pace, they will be able to just try to get some glimpse of his knowledge right now, as he became brilliant, so super intelligent. Okay, so I need Tamer and Hussein.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Okay,
Who am I?
Strauss, Hussein Fur. Abdulaziz Sana, do you have a mic? Khalid Al Khalifa. Nawaf. Turkey. Atibi.
Teacher, teacher,
Yes, Amir.
should I
Teacher.
read?
Yeah, you will be Strauss. Hussein Strauss. That's Hussein. Fur. Nawaf. And Atibi will be Charlie.
Okay.
Okay, let's start.
I will
I
be
am
Charlie.
Strauss.
Yes, Hussein Strauss, Thamir, Kurt, and Atibi Charlie.
Okay, no problem.
Do we start?
Yep.
What's that?
More of Charlie's notes.
How many days' work is that?
2.
Dear heaven,
I've got 3 stenographers working. I had to call in extra help.
don't tell me. I am here every night till one listening to his tapes.
He pushed the play button on this tape record, and they listened to.
Okay. July 18. They all think I'm killing myself this piece, but they do not understand I'm living at a peak of clarity and beauty. I never knew excited it's
Existed.
as existed at it as if all the knowledge I've scored in during the past month has lifted me to a peak of the light and understanding this beauty.
This is beauty, love,
Beauty, love, and truth rolled into one. This is joy, and now that I've found it, how can I give it up?
Strauss
Strauss.
is now the machine and inserts new tape as he speaks.
It's incredible. I can't even believe any human being can work at this level, at this pace.
Thamir,
Oh yeah, okay. Doctor, I've read some of this, of course. I don't understand it, but is this work as brilliant as it seems?
What are you asking me for? It may take science 40 years to understand what Charlie is telling us this month.
What have we unleashed, Doctor? What do we do?
We hire another stenographer and make sure she gets it all down correctly.
Kurt exists, right? Strauss pushes the play button.
July 25th, Algernon became lost in the maze. Today, he threw himself against the walls.
Okay, thank you very much, the three of you. I hope that you got the idea right now about this excerpt. So simply, this excerpt is like a scene of the whole novel between both Dr. Strauss and also Kurt, listening to the records of Charlie and also the papers he has written for them, providing them with the knowledge he acquires right now. So in the comprehension check on page 386. What phase of the experiment does the scene depict? How can you tell? So at what phase of the experiment, meaning that before the experiment or during or even after the experiment? Anyone?
This is before
Before the experiment?
the depict is. Oh, it's after the experiment.
After the experiment, because At here, they do not even know what is he typing. We can find Dr. Strauss saying that it may even take science approximately 40 years just to understand what Charlie is telling us this month. So it was the month after the operation when Charlie was at his peak of intelligence. He gained more intelligence, consequently, they could not understand the research he had written. Why are Dr. Strauss and Bert reacting to Charlie in this way? In this way, we mean when Bert himself says, "What have we unleashed?" Unleashed, we use this word when we speak about a demon, a devil, a monster, something you cannot control. Okay, so why are Strauss and Bert reacting to Charlie in this way? Reacting to him in this way as if they did not uh, or they are not capable of controlling him. Why do you think so?
This is after the experiment
Yes.
because he was intelligent and then he became dumb.
I'm sorry, your voice is lagging. What? So at this stage right now, Charlie has become super intelligent, genius, right? So just a few months back, he was a dumb person, very stupid, with an IQ of 68. But right now, he has became to a pace or level that none on the planet Earth is. So he became very, 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 very intelligent. So sometimes this intelligence is a curse. You never know whether a genius may be uh, good and he uses his knowledge for the people and the planet, etc., or perhaps he would be a very, very bad one. So they are reacting to Charlie in this way. Number one, they are not capable of controlling him. Number two, he has surpassed all of their expectations. They just needed to triple his IQ and so that he can become a normal person. Okay? But he became a genius. He became very fascinating. Consequently, they are just afraid of this knowledge because, of course, they do not understand it and they cannot control it. In question number three, how had the position of the other men changed in reference to Charlie? So comparing to Charlie, how the position of Dr. Strauss and Kurt and even Dr. Niemer, it changed regarding to Charlie in just a few months. Like how was it Charlie a few months back compared to them and how they are right now compared to the Charlie.
He was more intelligent or more
Yeah.
genius than them, and now they are more genius than him.
So the situations have changed. Before Charlie was dumb and they were very smart and intelligent. Right now, Charlie became a genius and they are as they were. Consequently, Charlie became the capable scientist, the most accurate one, and also the one who has more knowledge. And question number four, what important information does Charlie reveal about Algernon in the last line?
That Algernon was lost in a maze and he threw himself against the wall, so he became dumb.
So, is revealing to us that Charlie Algernon, what's happening to it right now by being lost in the maze and even throwing himself against the wall. So we can infer that right now Algernon is what?
Stupid.
He's becoming stupid, not stupid. He is becoming stupid. So his brain is deteriorating right now. Here are the answers. Please start writing. Three, eight, six. Finished?
No.
Okay. Finished?
Last question.
Okay.
Finish.
Great. All of you finished? Okay, let's improvise the accents.
Teacher,
Yes?
I took a picture of the answers, but what is the page 358?
353 there.
Oh, okay.
386.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Ahmad is not here, right?
Teacher,
Yes?
is there another page, like in page 386, and the same story, the same comprehension?
It's an excerpt from the same comprehension.
Okay.
Okay. Let's check the video about flowers for Algernon.
Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes is the story of a 32-year-old intellectually disabled man named Charlie Gordon, who undergoes a surgery to improve his intelligence. The story is told through a series of Charlie's first-person progress reports that indicate his improvement in grammar, spelling, and word choices. Despite his improved academic intelligence, Charlie suffers when his social development does not progress at the same rate. The setting plays an important role in this story, as attitudes about disabilities and ethical medical practices have evolved since the 1960s, when this novel was first published. Charlie's first progress report is dated March 3rd, with the final entry on November 21st of the same year, an 8-month period of time. The lack of political correctness that existed in the 1960s resulted in Charlie's mother rejecting him, as she took his disability personally. By the end of the 1960s, laws were passed that required services for disabled students in public schools and began deinstitutionalizing differently abled citizens. In the novel, Charlie describes what Mr. Donner, his boss and his uncle's best friend, told him about how Mr. Donner was able to hire Charlie as a janitor in the bakery to prevent him from being committed to the Warren home. Mother had you committed to the Warren home. I got them to release you on outside work placement. The relatively short time period in which Charlie My name is Jennifer Bell. I am an English Language Arts and Social Studies teacher at Rolling Hills Middle School, and I've been teaching for 8 years. I first heard about study.com through a friend of mine. What I love most about study.
Any questions so far, guys? I'll just
Yeah.
put you like because you came in.
Yes, I have a question, teacher.
Camera, I'm listening.
Do you have the page 379 for writing codes?
379 writing coach. There is no 309 in writing coach.
379. You don't have
My perspective.
the one in the previous story that will come in
Meaning,
the quiz.
yeah, my perspective. You can take a screenshot.
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Finished?
Yes, I finished. Thank you.
Are we- Any questions so far? Any question about any part of the quiz or anything?
No, teacher.
Teacher, how many questions of the comprehension?
And the comprehension only 2.
And the rest, grammar?
Yeah.
Teacher, the reading comprehension check is a flower for Algernon. Algernon,
Yeah.
I mean. Only this.
Only this one.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Teacher,
Yeah, Thamer.
is there time left?
Time left in what?
Because I want you to revise for me page 58 grammar writing code.
38.
58. The last page and yes, this one.
Verbal and verbal phrases.
Yes.
No problem. Alright, so to speak about the verbal and verbal phrases, Thamer, you need to know something. You need to know first what is the meaning of a verbal and what is the meaning of a verbal phrase and why to use them. So, simply, when speaking about those, you need to know that a verbal is a verb that is used in the sentence, but not as a verb. Not as a verb. We use it as another part of it, like an adjective. We use it to describe another thing. And we have 3 types of those adverbial or adverbial phrases. The first one we call present participle. Present. And once you find present and the participle, blindly, you will have the ing form. Present participle means ing form. Like listening to music is one of my favorite hobbies. Speaking to my teacher relieved my headache. Of course, it's the other way around, but okay. So simply, once you find the present participle, means ing. The second form is called the past participle. In the conjugation of any verb, you have 3 forms: present, past, and past participle. Like play, played, played. Eat, ate, eaten. To speak about the past participle, we need the third one, which is eaten. Okay? Like eaten by Ali, the sandwich started to scream. Of course, that's the imaginary image, of course, like simile. So here, we use the past participle to describe a noun. So we are using it as an adjective. And we have the participle phrase. The participle phrase could be present participle phrase or past participle phrase, meaning that you're not using just one word. You are using a whole, like turning the corner, I slipped on the rice. So you have here turning the corner. So turning the corner in this situation describes you.
So it's a participle phrase.
Yeah, it's a participle phrase describing the pronoun I. Because here it shows us how were you acting while you slipped on the ice. So
Yeah.
I slipped on the ice while I was turning the corner. So it tells us how. We have here Brandon sneaking into the theater, ran right into his parents. So how was or Brandon's case? While he ran into his parents, he was sneaking into the theater. So while Brandon was sneaking into the theater, he
Iran to
ran off.
spell.
And we have number 3. Mr. Bashir's car stalled because of an overheated radiator. How was the radiator? The
So
radiator was overheated
overheated. Okay,
or
okay.
overheated. And because it was overheated, the car stayed. When we
Yeah,
can, we eat canned meat. What type of meat do you eat?
can't me.
The canned one. So
Can't
canned
can't is
part-
a past participle.
past participle. Okay, the third form of a verb used to describe the meat. So it's called the participle.
So teacher, any word that is modifying another word is called
Verb,
biole.
not word. Verb. We're speaking in this topic about the verbal and the verbal phrases, meaning that you use a verb in another thing. Teacher, can I take a pic of the comprehension for Algernon? Yes, Ali. Haven't I uploaded that?
I don't
Please.
know. Teacher, there was a revision yesterday, right?
Not quite.
Oh,
There was a media yesterday, but no one came except Turkish Shamba. 379. Any other question?
no, teacher, but just give me a second. I will tell you something.
Can you make a hurry because I have another session?
Yes, yes. Yes, and teacher on page 58 about the verbs and verbal phrases. In practice B, will, it's about write the participle on the line provided and label it a past participle or a present participle.
Yes.
So yes, for example, uh, in question 8, do you have the page? Yes, like in question 8.
Yeah, in the canyon, Deborah looked up at the jutting rocks.
So
How are
here,
they?
so
They are
teacher, I got confused because you told me that the verbal, any verbal that is modifying a word or any noun or pronoun, it's called a variable, right?
yes.
Yes, and so I got confused here. So I don't know if it was looked or jutting, because the question didn't say it was there. There is more
Nice.
than one.
Very
Yeah,
good. Very good. Nice. So looked here, looked up is what?
is a verb.
What kind of verb? Main verb,
Verb.
action verb, or linking verb, or what?
it's an action verb.
It's an action verb. So action verbs tells us about the action of the sentence. So they cannot be verbals. But here you have the verb jutting. Why are you using it? In order to describe the rocks. So this verb was used to describe a noun. But this verb is used to tell us about the action and the sentence. So that's the one we need. And of course, it's a present participle. Okay?
Okay. So,
If you have any other question, we can continue that in the next period. You still have another period before the quiz. So have no worries about that.
okay, thank you, teacher. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. We'll see you next session.
Yes, hopefully.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next session.